Yes, for our next session, we have about club contests, and this is going to be handled by our very own corporate area director, Tom. Please welcome Tom with a huge round of applause. Tom, it's all yours.
Well, thank you, but I thought Ilona was first.
Oh, is Ilona starting first? Is Ilona here? Ilona?
Yeah, I don't mind to start now, but...
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
And,
I thought you weren't here. Okay, then it's Ilona for helping us with COVID and challenges that the clubs are facing during COVID. It's all over to Ilona. Please welcome our division contest winner and our current area director, Ilona Ruitenberg. Ilona, it's all yours.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Jaap, for your inspiring talk, and especially what you said about the COVID, because that is what we are going to talk about today. What we realized during the visits is that a lot of clubs came to us and said, you know, what are we going to do now with the COVID? How do we interpret the rules? Is there any guidance from the division? Is there any guidance from the district? And of course, it's very difficult because in a way we are advising clubs, but on the other hand, we can't tell you what to do. You have to figure it out yourself, and especially because the district is divided in a lot of areas, divisions with different rules. So it's not easy for a district to give guidance. And for us as a division, it's also very difficult because when you are living in the big city, it's different than you live, you know, somewhere in the country. So we thought about to open a discussion today to just give some ideas of what it meant to look back at this year, because it's not been an easy year, and also to look forward and try to find some ways to help you through this process. And I made a little, you know, presentation on PowerPoint, but it's just not to give you a presentation of what to do, but to start the discussion about how it has been for you, what you expect from us, and how we can help each other, because some clubs were very forward in everything. I remember that when the COVID rules were gone, then a lot of clubs went outside in the summer. They just went to the park. Other clubs stayed online. So there is so many ways you can pick up COVID rules and deal with it and give each other ideas for how to go forward and also how to look back. So I'm just going to start it. I'm just going to look if I can share my screen. Yes, I can. I'm going to share it now. I'm going to, do you see it? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah,
thank
I see
you.
it.
And I'm going to start it. So this is supporting clubs during COVID times, how to deal with COVID regulations. So this is how we, let me see if we can go back. So how has your club dealt with COVID regulations? That's my first question, because I'm just very interested in it. How did your meetings went? How did you go, you know, deal with pathways and planning the agenda? And how did you maintain your quality? And how did you do socially? That's something that I'm very interested in, and how to, what went by. So just some, and I really, you can do it on the chat, or you can open your mic. So how was it for you during this COVID period? Is there someone who can say something about that?
Yes, and Ilona.
Yes.
Yeah, as you all know, of course, we just started in December, so we were really confronted with the first time with the COVID. And the first time we tried to do offline meetings, but soon we decided, because it had all in all, to go completely online for the time being. But we were facing a problem. First of all, there were people there, Toastmasters, who they didn't want to come anymore due to COVID, and also Toastmasters who only wanted to come it was live, so real time, so face to face. And since the board in total was divided about it, we made a vote as a board what to do. And since most of the members decided to only preferred online, we switched to online. And yeah, we stopped because we had to lengthen our rent, of course. We tried to cancel that and avoid problems with COVID. And yeah, that's the reason why we are still only online at the moment. But it also cost us some members.
Yes, yes, I'm just looking at the chat right now and I see some great ideas like doing virtual drinks, just stay a little longer. I know that, that there is a lot of Zoom fatigue going on, but having a virtual drink can do something to your, just to connect socially. And what I also, the hybrid meetings, of course, Nassima, I've been to Eindhoven and they have hybrid meetings. So if you're interested in doing that, then contact Eindhoven, the Lighttown speakers. And also the difficulties of finding new members in an online club, it can also be very challenging. So this is...
From Timoth has her hand raised.
Yes?
Sonia?
Sorry, I just wanted to add, I can't find how to get my hand unraised, but our problem is that so many of the people in our club have fatigue, online fatigue. They just basically have square eyeballs in the evening. So, and other people just don't feel there's a benefit to the online when they really wanted to have the in-person speaking.
Yes. Yes, that can be very challenging. I can give you some tips how to deal with Zoom fatigue, because it's not, I think, the screen that gives us the fatigue. What is fatiguing is that we have to stand in front of a screen all the time, and that can be very lively and very playful. I think that's one of the things. You can't walk, when you are at work, you walk to the coffee counter and you just sigh and you take a coffee and you make a joke. That is something that we always do when we are at work, to chat and to be socially and to play. And what you can do a lot, and I also going to show you some way, because we're going to use the annotate function right now. But you can not only use the annotate function to just chat away, but you can also use the annotate function to draw. And I remember that I was at a Christmas party last year, also from Toastmasters. And we were from all over the world, and we said, you know, let's draw a map from the world, everyone together, and we all started drawing, and suddenly the Zoom fatigue was gone. So I think it's not only the Zoom fatigue that is just sitting in front of a screen, but sitting in front of the screen, just, you know, acting like you listen and you talk, and not making any jokes and any playful things. So maybe that's something that you can remember by. And maybe some other people can say something about the Zoom fatigue and how to deal with it. Is there anyone who can say something about it?
Ilona, I just
Yes?
want to comment on this hybrid. This was a thought in our club as well, but since we are a start club, we didn't have any the right equipment to do hybrid meetings, so that was it wasn't it couldn't be in a hybrid.
Yes, yes, we could talk about it later, but is this someone who can deal with the Zoom fatigue?
Ilona,
Yes?
is it maybe something, because now you just sparked an idea in me. Is it possible that you don't necessarily have to look at the screen, but can you use Toastmasters like just the speaker regarding how effective your speech is without the visual effect?
You can do it. What you can do is, I always pronounce it wrongly, but Panchakucha, for example, is 20 slides. And for every slide, you have 20 seconds time to speak. That can be a very challenging way of speaking. That's one of the things, yes, that's some of the things that you can do to make it more challenging to do an online speech. And what we did was at improvisation is a PowerPoint karaoke, is that you just show slides and that someone is just going to talk about it. So instead of table topics, you can do that. So, and especially when someone's speaking, I would suggest that you keep it, because talking in front of a camera is a skill which you can use in every setting. I don't think that we are going to go to the United States for a keynote speak for just 1 hour anymore. I think that we're going to do a lot of more webinars right now. So speaking in front of a camera is a hard skill that you can learn in a Toastmasters club, especially now. But what you can do is make it people easier to put off your camera while someone is speaking, or, you know, to walk around if you want, or to be more playful. Let me see in the chat, because there are a lot of people.
Thank you. Those are great additions.
Yes. So there are a lot of people are talking and just not seeing everything. So the virtual drinks, the hybrid, we talked a little bit about hybrid. Maybe we can talk about it later more. And we keep perspective of going back offline eventually. So members who prefer offline are more likely to stay while meetings are online. Yes. We went online with other clubs. That's also something you can do. You know, you can collaborate more. You know, we did a contest last year in our club to make to travel around the world and to find the most exotic club you can visit. So did someone said, oh, I've been to Malaysia last night, or, you know, I've been to Hawaii. Something you can say without the jet lag and the whole security things and you know, the taking holidays. You can visit anywhere, and you also can collaborate. This is just a great idea also to find out how other clubs deal with their agenda, with their meetings, with pathways. Is this something you can do right now? Let me see, perspective work. Don't know exactly what you mean, Arnoud. You could speak to your idea and start a membership building program. Yes. That's also, yes, thank you, Shashidar. So many members have become passive. Yes, so that's something that's a real problem. So how do you engage people, you know, instead of just say, this is something second best. If you treat the online meetings as second best, then they will not come to say, yes, we are going online while we are in COVID. But instead of to say, this is the new hard skill that you have to, you know, capture in 2021, then maybe people say, yes, of course, you know, I have to do it for my work. I have to do presentations online all the time. This is the way that I can practice it. This is the way I can talk to a camera. This is something that you really, for entrepreneurs, for people who do a lot of presentations, can be a new challenge to master. So this is every meeting we have guests. We explain we're meeting online temporarily to really go. Yes, this is something that you say. Every meeting we have guests. We explain we are an offline club meeting and we're meeting temporarily, but we go back offline as soon as it's possible. No, this is the time that we are going to do it online and make it the best sessions that we ever had. It's just also a matter of attitude. So this is a good idea. Collaborative meetings, yes. Yeah, we're going to do the annotate function. We're going to use it, and we're going to use it. So what you're going to do, let me see. Then go back to the meetings. So what you do is when you look at your screen, you have a function that is the annotate function. Sometimes it's under yourself, but it just you move your cursor and then you see the annotate function, you click on it, and then you can write text or you can draw. So what to do it out of the box? Maybe you can draw some things about the meetings that you find very interesting. Yes, people are going to draw. So make it a little playful, you know, just look how you can collaborate with each other to make just a drawing. And you can also say something about something positive about how did your meetings went online? Is there anyone who said, yes, this has been something that is more, that has made our club even richer, or did someone, grow during COVID? I'm just very interested. So just open your mic or just draw it, just say something.
Hi, I'm Leisha from Taste and Toastmasters. I think I got quite a bit of feedback from some new members and also people coming in as guests that the meetings are sometimes pretty long. And I know that when we gather as a club in person, this is all right. I mean, we have 4 speeches, although the time limit is 2 hours. And even if we go a few minutes over, people still end up networking, talking to each other, have something to drink, eat, and it goes fine. But then online, people are already, we have our meetings on Mondays. People are already in after like a whole day's worth of work. And personally, I'm on a lot of blue jeans calls, video conferences. So I can understand that other people might be feeling the same way as well. So based on the feedback, what we did was try to shorten our meetings. Instead of 4 speeches, we reduced it to 3. And that meant that our meetings got over well below 2 hours. And the members gave pretty good feedback about that. So that means it was short and sweet instead of long drawn out.
Yes, that can be, just adjusting the agenda. I'm always curious, how did you do on your time management before? Because I remember sometimes that we had speeches of 9 minutes and that, people just sit like this, in the club and we just applaud. But, how strict are you on time management? That's something that you can also, notice. Is your, the length of your meeting, is it because the time management is wrong, or are there too many speeches? That is something you can question yourself, and maybe you can even, to make something out of it, and also in a playful way. So to say, evaluation has to be under 3 minutes, speeches has to be under 7 minutes, to be more strict in your time management. Just a question for everyone. Let me see if someone is in the chat. We complain about, yes, we complain about long speeches, because sometimes that's the problem, it's not the length of the of your meeting, but it's the length of the speeches. Do you stay under 2 minutes when you do your table topics? How many table topics do you do? How many times does, when you open your meeting, how long does it take to make a speech? Time management can be key, and then you have more time for the playful stuff and for a virtual drink, and then you're not drained at the end of the evening. Sorry, how do you animate? Yes, just draw it. You have the text, so you do the annotate function, and you can draw and you can do text. So our club, someone said our club grew. Let me see if that is. We do use the themes, yes. So there are so many things you can do. Being hybrids gave us a new opportunity, yes. Yeah. So this is something you can do. I can also see in the annotate, international cats joined our meetings. Yes, you can go on Facebook. And we have a Facebook group, international. We have a Facebook group for our district. You can make a fun video and ask people to join your meeting. And then maybe you have someone from Malaysia in your group, and then you can learn from that. So there are so many things to connect and to network, and maybe to do a whole session, not about speeches, but all about fun or improvisation or networking. There's so many ways you can do something that gives you more energy than it drains you. We are planning joint meetings with other clubs. Yes, that's very nice. So when I look at the screen now, there are so many, got it, fun. And so how is this for you to do this in a way not to be too serious, that you can just type away, make some drawings. Is this giving you energy or is this draining you? I'm just very curious. Is someone who can answer that?
Well, I want to say something, President Lawrence from Zwolle.
Yes.
Well, I think if the subject or topic that you're talking about is not too serious, you can do this. But for example, I have ADHD, so then it's not so wise to do it in during a serious topic or subject.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is that well you say for yourself it's not that it gives you energy right now, or is it something to be playful is not easy for you?
No, it gives me energy, but my
Okay.
energy is concentrated on the screen with all the paintings.
Oh yeah, okay, yes.
So it depends how you organize it, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't. I think that's also something from don't take yourself too seriously in this, and just see if you just can take it lightly, you know, and also to take a meeting of Toastmasters. Of course, it's serious because you're learning something, but also to see if you can learn in different ways. I'm going to clear the screen now. Clear all drawings. I'm just going to clear it. Yes, and we're going to do the next slide. Let me see if we can get out of this, because people are still annotating. Stop annotating. Yes, let me see.
It's so fun. It's hard to stop.
Yes, I know, but we have a new screen. You can draw again. Let me see, because now I'm clear our drawings, and let me see if I just stop it. Arnoud, I need your help because you did
Okay,
this
people,
before.
stop drawing.
No, that's not okay. But Arnoud, I need your help. I'm going to need to go to the next slide. You know how I can do this.
Yes,
Can you help me?
check the mouse.
I check the mouse and then I have to,
And then you can just
I say clear all drawings.
yeah,
And now I have to
you
annotate,
pick
stop
mouse on the left
annotating.
side.
Yes, I thank you so much. And then I go to the next, pathways and planning the agenda. How are your club members progressing right now? Are they doing speeches? Are they still progressing in a way that they did before? Or are there some people who just, you know, think it's not worth their time to do it online? I'm just curious. How do you plan your agenda and how are people progressing in pathways? You can use your annotate function again. Just draw or text something to give some comments or just open your mic.
The members are pretty motivated to talk and they keep requesting for speeches. The major problem that I've faced in the club is that some older members dropped out because they've been with the club for quite a while, and switching to the online version sort of maybe a combination of demotivation and also maybe to try out other things that are more physical. So we had a lot of people who were potentially going to reach level 4, level 5, sort of dropping out. Yes. But still have other members requesting speeches as usual with a lot of enthusiasm. So the thing is, we end up having a lot of level 1, 2, 3 speeches, but a bit slower moving towards level 4 and 5.
Okay, yes, I can understand that, of course. But I think that dropping out, especially when you were for a very long time in the Toastmaster Club, I don't think that it's how do you say that, uncommon. I think that a lot of people just stay 1 or 2 years in Toastmaster Club, and that only the diehards, you know, just progress further. But of course, you can try to motivate them to just take up the roles. And again to say, this is the new hard skill that you have to learn in 2021. Learn how to speak in front of a camera, learn how to make presentations in front of the camera. And it's not as easy as you think, especially now that I have to ask Arnoud how to get out of this thing. No, there are so many things we can learn just doing online meetings. I love the way Hague University Toastmasters organize the meeting. So crisp, creative, fun, and time-bound. Yes, I've been there too. Yes, it's a very young club, so they're very young people. So we can learn from them how to pivot in those times. That's very good. Let me see. We typically check during table topics with time and whether we are ahead or behind schedule. Yes, so this is something you can work with, time management. I think that time management is more important in an online meeting than in a normal meeting because, you have so much fun speaking and listening and being together and networking that maybe in an online meeting, you have to do more time management than before and to be more strict. And maybe to say, your mic is muted now, your time is up. You can do all kinds of things to be more, to do more with time management.
Ilona,
Yes.
I wanted
Yes.
to share 2 ideas actually.
Yes.
In our last meeting, our Toastmasters of the evening had a specific theme of the evening, of course. And during the time between the speeches or during the time between the sections, he was asking us a question that was a really fun question. For example, if you could travel right now, where would be your first destination? Or who would be the first person you would go visit now, if you could? And then we would answer the chat. And actually, it was really fun because we were really curious to see what others answered. And it was really creating some sort of break between listening to the speech, giving our focus to the screen, and then, oh, that's a fun question. Yeah, let's answer it. And
Yes.
Another thing also that we did, we've been doing this actually for quite some time, but indeed it's even more fun in the online meeting, is to have someone who is called our observational humor master. And this person writes down the fun things that happen during the meeting, and then at the end they give a 3-minute speech, or they have a 3-minute interaction with the audience about what was fun during the meeting. And one of these activities is, for example, to write down specific sentences that people said, funny sentences, and then ask at the end who said that. And then the audience need to answer, this is, yeah, it was Ilona, or it was Arnoud, or it was Jaap, or etc. And that's really fun because we forget that we are on the screen. And we were doing this already offline, but it's still fun online. So that can be some idea to enlighten and make it fun, and also make people focus during the meeting, because if they're not focused, then they cannot remember at the end. And I was really impressed how much they remembered actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great fun. What I like about what you're saying is that you have to forget the screen. So how do we forget the screen? Is to be playful, to enlighten, to say, we're not doing this thing because we are in COVID, and we are doing this temporarily. And I know we've been on Zoom all day, and we're asking so much of you, but to say this is fun, this is something you can do. You can forget the screen in Toastmasters, and we're going to connect and network just like we did before. And I really like your idea about putting in sentences what someone said. Who said this? It's great. I love your idea. Let me see, because I'm not going to use Pathways Progress has slowed down, but we really miss the social time after the meeting, so people can ask informally about pathways, mentors and mentee can connect. And how about if you do this before the meeting? So sometimes a lot of people just, oh, I'm done with this meeting, and just log out as soon as possible. But what about just starting a half hour before, just to warm up, to welcome your guests, and to say, has anybody had problems with Easy Speak? Has anybody had problems with pathways? And talk it before the meeting, then afterwards. And afterwards, you can do social drinks. You can make fun. You can have funny backgrounds. You can put on hats virtually to play more and do the more things of the questions. Do it beforehand. Let me see. I'm going to do this because otherwise I think I'm going to, because people are chatting. Let me see. Let me see if there's someone is. Yes. Let me see. I'm just going to erase the screen again.
We have a raised hand from the President, Ram.
Yes. You can talk in the mic.
Yeah, I think I said we are Toastmasters and we're not necessarily chat masters. I said ask my question. The question is how do we find a balance with these times between on one hand, a lot of people probably did mention that we're losing members, especially the old-time members who are used to the physical meetings. So on one hand, there is a goal that we need to continue to have more members, but at the same time, you need to make sure you do justice to existing members who have signed up with a speech development or a certain goal that they want to achieve by the end of their tenure with the club. Which
Yes.
means, on one hand, we have to focus on speeches and speech evaluations versus attracting or keeping the energy level, which tends to happen with other sessions. So how do we balance that between speeches, which some people also pointed out, sometimes speeches can be long.
Yes.
How do we balance the goals in these times? Any thoughts?
Yes, has anybody any thoughts about this? And open your mic, because people are drawing and chatting. Just open your mics, don't raise your hand, just open your mics and maybe you can give an answer.
I can a little bit do a try, Ilona. If I understand the question correctly, the question was about how you balance on speeches and about energy, and I think it has a connection with each other. If the energy in a room is not correct, then people don't get the most out of their speeches. So you need both, and that has also to do with time management and what you said, Ilona, the benefits, and also what Jaap stressed. If you have your attitude is not good in the meeting, then you cannot repair that. So that's the reason why always I try as a Sergeant at Arms to level up the meeting, because the first impression is the most important. And if the impression is not good, then people lock out. And it's a skill, what you also said. So to answer the question, the first step is the energy. And the second step is let people implement what they learn, because then they have an experience. Maybe, I hope I answered it correct. But that's a little bit what we do. And last thing, I said it also, I read it also, we had apart workshops for socialing and mentoring and learning the skills. You have to break it down. You cannot do a 2-hour session. So that a lot of people liked, and we do that only for smaller groups. For instance, the experienced members give the workshops, and the new members, maybe 10 members, they do that. And yeah, that's what we did.
Yes, I like what you're saying. So what you're saying is attitude, energy is something that you bring to the table as a board. How do you deal with this? How do you present an online meeting? So that's the first thing. And then keeping your time management during the session, and also to point out every time This is a hard skill to master, not only for new people, but also for the older. To learn something new every day, you know, is something that also the older generation knows. So this is something that you can point out, or maybe to encourage them to visit more conservative clubs, because everyone is online right now, to even visit them. Let me see what people say in the chat. The link of the Odyssey project is for Toastmasters. Let me see what's this about. Not TM has a mentor yet for physical meetings. Odyssey, okay, that's very interesting. And there's someone shared a link for that, so check it out. It's already effective in various districts. Please look also at the website. Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Fred. Let me see if we, what are the expectations for the next half year? Because I think that's important. We don't have much time anymore, but maybe we can talk about this. Because, well, the vaccinations are coming, so there must be some prospect of going back online someday. But the contest of Toastmasters, especially in the area and the division, is going to be on Zoom. I haven't heard about the district, but maybe there is an update on that. But this is going to stay at least for, I think, a couple of months. So what can we expect? And when we go back live, how are we going to do that? And what did we learn from this? It's also very important. Are there people here who say, you know, we are going to implement the online business in our regular program? So let me just go to the next. What can we expect? Are there any, how are the expectations in the club right now? Just very curious. You can do the annotate function again. You can draw again. Maybe you can text. Maybe text is right, is good right now. Can someone, what are the expectations right now?
Ilona, just a gentle reminder, there's 15 minutes left.
But how many minutes?
15, 1, 5.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Oh, I was just thinking that it maybe was less.
Ilona, do you mean what can we transfer from that we learned online that we can transfer offline? Is that your
yes?
question?
Well, that is something that we do in the third slide. But what can we expect the next half year? What do you talk about in your club? And Camelia asks, what do you expect? What do you mean by that? What are you talking about in your club? How do you deal with this? Are you dealing with it day by day, week by week, month by month, or do you have a plan?
So maybe I can share what we do in our club.
Yes.
So right now we had to change our location because the previous one was not according to the regulations.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so what we did is we tested several locations, and now we chose a location as soon as we can go back offline, of course. So that's one thing that we have been discussing for the next half year, let's say. And also we discuss a lot the contest. I mean, we discuss a lot. We plan the contest, of course.
Yes.
And here, a way to discuss about it that I used is to share my own experience, because last year it started offline and then it went online, and I wanted to share with them my own experience as a contestant, that during the offline it's fun, you have the audience in front of you, but then when you go on online you don't have this. I had to learn this skill, and actually that completely distracted me during the contest. And by saying this, what I wanted to say is that there is a new skill here to learn, actually.
Yes.
And yeah, for me, I thought going online would be easy, but actually no. And,
No, it's not.
and yeah, so that's also something that we discuss for the next.
And Nassima, do you have you made, so you're looking for a new location? That's of course, you know, I think that it's good that you think ahead, that maybe if you go offline again, that there still will be regulations, so that you're thinking about it, that you have a good space where you can keep distance, that has a good, you know, when you speak, that everyone can hear you. Is there some thoughts about making a plan, you know, after going back offline, and the expectations of how long do we stay online? Is there anything that you
So
talk about?
for us, we follow every time there is a press conference, we follow what the Prime Minister says, and if he says we can meet, then we will definitely meet. There is no question in that. So we had online, offline meetings, and we took, every time we took the chance that we were offered to go offline.
Yes. So what you're saying, we're just looking at week by week.
Yes.
Is there a club here that says, no, we will sit down and we make a plan? Is there someone who did this?
Maybe I can say something here, Arthur.
Yes.
Arthur Denis speaking.
Yes.
We are a corporate club, so maybe it's a bit different than let's say non-corporate clubs or not normal clubs. We make plans every year with the board, and we have just done that for 2021. What we have discussed is, I mean, we have also, like anybody else here discussed, is that we have people that like to be on stage. I also am one of those. I like that a lot better than doing it in front of a camera. But we are here also now confronted with a new reality that we have to do more online. And I think that also will stay, or we think that also will stay. So next to having been paired up with other Shell clubs, Shell Toastmaster clubs, so we have a larger audience, we can reach more people. We also have said, okay, for now, as long as we are forced to do so, we will offer online. Mm-hmm. And we see actually things picking up. There was a little dip end of the year where people, I think, were fatigued or whatever we call it. But now we see more energy people coming back. And I think people accepted that there is a new reality that you have to also be able to speak online in front of a camera. And people embrace that. So I see now more people also want to do a speech and things like that. So we are preparing now the speech content for the clubs, and also gearing up for the area speech club speech contest. And to answer your question, we have made a plan. The plan is we keep being online, but we also will invite some interesting speakers because we have budget for that. To also add a little value other than just do speech development and public speaking and things like that. But as soon as we can, we will go hybrid. We will offer online and also offer the face-to-face again, because again, being on stage, looking in front of the people with your own eyes is something I think that most of the people that are in our club enjoy a lot.
Yes. Well, that's great. So you really made a plan. That's a good thing. I think that it's something that you can take this back and go into your clubs again and to sit down and say, what is our plan? How are we going to deal with this? Of course, some things you can plan, but to think ahead about going hybrid, to implement that you see that people are embracing it, that's very good news.
But also what we do, maybe something nice to share, is that we also make a plan. We let's say, created a role called the Toastmaster of the Day, which will be the host of that session. And we plan it way ahead. So we make a plan for 6 months, and all the members are basically listed there, and we have informed them. And like that, we also ensure that everybody pays their dues, so to say, to do that once or
that's
twice.
Great to hear. Yes, because sometimes that's a problem, that roles are divided just sometimes on the session itself, that you say who is going to be the timer this time, you know. So that's a great way of planning, that you plan way more ahead than just during COVID, but also to planning your easy speaker speech request. Who's the Toastmaster of the evening? That's great.
Sorry,
yes.
Arthur,
Yes.
I personally appreciate you bringing in your points of discussion. it's very good to know what is the perspective of a corporate club. That is something which we miss in many club officer trainings, especially because we sometimes tend to focus only on community clubs. Thank you
Yes.
for bringing up your points. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, let me see, because someone is saying, I can't read it, because let me see, connecting with members that left, asking to return when meetings are offline again. Yes, you can, of course, always, you know, that the people that left, I think it's always a good idea that when people have left, to connect them in some way, or to ask them if they are left because of COVID, or, you know, online, or just because they're just, you know, didn't agree. Just connect with them from time to time to see how are they doing, and if they maybe want to come back because you have something interesting. I think that's very good.
Something that I wanted to add is right now our club, Lighthouse Speakers, we are working on having a joint meeting experience. Of course, it will start by being online, but maybe it's an idea for us to think about how to cooperate with other clubs when we go back offline as well. That would be also an idea. And I'm making an announcement for other presidents or other officers. If that's something you find interesting, please let me know.
Yes, I think it's also a very good idea to connect with Nassima anyway, because they are doing the hybrid sessions so well. So maybe it's good to go visit it maybe when they go back live. That you visit their club online, because see how they are doing it. How to go back live? Are there any ideas already for how you're going to do that? And I heard something of the president of the Shell that they are thinking about, or they're already, you know, decided to go hybrid. Then let me see. Is there something in the chats?
Val from Den Bosch Toastmasters, president. We have a lovely venue, and unfortunately, currently, we're unable to meet there. So our plan is, and we're in constant contact with the venue, is to immediately go back. But when we go back, we will continue hybrid. I mean, for us, that's very important. We've got our setup, it's professional, it's wonderful, and we believe, I think as a club, that this is the future. Club members can participate online, we can reach a far greater membership, and overall it's a good solution for everybody.
Thank you so much. That sounds very, very good to have a very solid, you know, view for the future. I think that everyone, maybe, you know, when you look back, how good was your venue, and what can you do about it right now? You know, so think about maybe looking for different locations right now is a good thing to know, because you never know if COVID goes away, if there's going to be another, you know, pandemic or anything. How good is your location anyway? So that's a good thing. And then to think, we're going to go hybrid anyway.
Ilona, if I can add something here, I hear a lot of clubs, they want to move to hybrid at some point of time when the restrictions are lifted. Please speak to your area directors and see if you need something from the area directors to be facilitated for your hybrid meetings. Like, is there a budget available for a mic for your club, a budget available for a speaker for your club? These are some things, if you are in regular touch with your area director, then perhaps there is something that the division or the district can do based on your plans. So keep in touch with your area directors and find out what is available at your disposal.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm just going to clear this video because we still have 3 minutes. I'm just going to go to the last slide. Let me see, clear all drawings, mouse, and then we're going to the next one. What did we learn from this? Maybe maybe I would just want to ask another question instead. I think that we already talked about what did we learn, but what do you expect from your division and your district right now? What can we do for you? So instead of what did we learn, what can we do for you now to make things better? Is there anything that we can help you with? It's very silent right now.
So maybe I may share something. That's something I already mentioned to Ilona and also you, Shashi. Sometimes in the current situation, I'm talking about the current situation, sometimes the new measures are not clear for us to know, can we go back online or not, or can we go back offline or not? And that would be great to have some sort of clarity. Yes, it's allowed to have up to 30 people, for example, in one room, or this type of clarity. If there is this type of clarification at division level or area level, that would be great, at least for Netherlands, of course.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind, Ilona, I can take the question.
Yes.
At the division level or the district level, every club has its own culture, and every club has its own meeting location and different regulations. So we don't want to give you a generic guideline to switch to hybrid or switch to live meetings. That is a decision the club officers have to make for their club, because you know your club the best and you know what your members know the best. But of course, if you have questions, for example, the WhatsApp regulations or some questions about the regulations by the health department itself, maybe through our sources we can find out a bit more detail, but we cannot provide a hard and set guideline for clubs to follow. It's very personal for the clubs.
Yes, here what I meant is more about to help us clarify the current measures. So I know we will make our decisions, that's for sure, but sometimes the measures are not clear and we don't know, can we meet or not? And there I even contacted Rijksoverheid, so the government, to ask them at some point, because I didn't know, and they could not, I mean, they themselves, they told me go back to the page, the website, and I'm like, okay, that's not an answer. So I was wondering if you, on your side, there was a way for you. I don't know, maybe there is not. Maybe there is no way to have a more clear, have it more clear even at your level. So that was more
the question next time. Just send it across. I will let you know.
Okay.
It's the same for all the clubs.
Yes, and here actually you mentioned about the WhatsApp. That's a good topic, ongoing topic. So we are going to discuss in our officers meeting what to do with the WhatsApp story. And I was wondering if we can share some experiences here, or if it's the place, maybe not. Maybe we can do this offline. But what do you recommend also?
We are running out of time right now for this session. There is a Q&A session at the end.
Okay.
Perhaps you can post your questions at the end, and people can also answer during that time. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
And there is a hand raised by Fred.
Yes, in regards to physical meetings, of course, it's how it goes. We still will have the 1.5 meter distance, of course, and at some locations, for instance, the location we've got, it's too small for a great group, so we will be forced to go hybrid, unless like what then Toastmasters and speakers have, they have enough room to go, to have enough people to because they're a double space than we have. I think hybrid will still be an optional option for us.
Yes, and maybe just look for a new venue. I think that's maybe now the time to examine if you want to go back to your old venue.
Yes, we are also looking at that, but that's not our first priority at the moment. We have other priorities first.
Okay.
Let's discuss this in the Q&A session.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to conclude with Ilona because we have run out of time.
Yes, yes. Just think about it. Maybe for the Q&A questions, what can we do for you? How can we help? How can we be of service? Well, I'm just going to end this session then, and you still have some minutes to go and do something with your time before the next session starts. I want to thank you for your participation and for all your good ideas. Just know that maybe connecting and networking can also be very good in this situation. Just ask other clubs, how are you doing this? You know, look on Facebook what other clubs are doing. When regulations are not clear, then reach out and just ask. And always have the attitude like, you know, we're in a difficult situation, but with the right attitude, not to say, oh, we're going to make the best of it. No, you're going to make it good anyway. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ilona, for the lovely session. It was so interactive. Everybody had their questions, got it answered. Thank you so much for facilitating this discussion. Right now, we can take a 5 minutes break. We can see each other at 11:40. We are running a little bit behind schedule, but it's okay. 11:40, we come back. Please have some off-screen time, switch off your cameras, go out, take some coffee, tea, or whatever you need. We see each other at 11:40.